I've been testing out Awakened Valerian, and I've been playing against her a bit, and today I'm gonna go over basically all the ways I've found to counter her. I thought she would be a lot stronger than she actually has ended up being. I thought she'd be a lot more impactful, but she's a lot like Hoyan in that she's really easy to counter if you're picking her too early, right? She's a super strong 4-5 into any team that has not picked properly to counter her, just like Hoyan is. But if you pick her on 2 or 3, you're basically just asking to lose. Right? Locking Valerian on 3 is a very easy way to lose. So first things first, let's go over her kit a little bit and explain a few things. So this Hazy Dream is her skill 3. Once you get it to max level, it's active right away at the start of battle. Right? And what Hazy Dream does is it makes Valerian immune to control and turn meter related effects. So no turn meter push, no turn meter pushback, no CC. However, she is not immune to debuffs and she is not immune to cooldown increase, right? So Kethos and Santic still kind of demolish her, right? Because I increase the cooldown and then she takes her first turn of the fight and then she can't put the skill 3 back up. So that's one thing you got to be concerned about. That's why I run her on Moon Bunny, that if they don't have a strip or some way to deal with this first, they can't just shut off her skill 3. Next up, when an ally starts their turn, applies a shield equal to 12% of Valerian's max HP for 2 turns. A dream buff that they don't have, right? So it goes in this order, right? Attack, defense, crit rate, and speed. And then before, right, this is the awakened part. Before an ally is attacked, also apply the same shield for 2 turns. But this can only trigger 1 time per turn. From the tests I've done, it seems like 1 time per turn is per turn of the character triggering the effect, right? So just like Fushu's Moonlit Veil, if a character hits multiple times, it only triggers once, but every character that goes can trigger it once. I've got I should have a timestamp below to the section of the video that shows that off, but yeah, so it's quite a bit of shielding. And then this last bit is the part that made it seem like she was going to be super broken, but she's actually kind of not. Right? When an ally is about to die, prevents their death, heals them for 20% of their max HP, and Valerian ends Hazy Dream, right? So the skill 3 goes away and immediately starts the next turn. So what I thought this would do is you're cleaving, they're cleaving, you pick this, they're not able to one-shot your team, Valerian instantly jumps to the front, she hits the S3, their next character goes, they're not able to kill you again, she jumps to the front again, hits the S2, and you've just anti-cleaved. It turns out, no, not really. This only saves 1 character, right? This death prevention. So if they have enough damage to one-shot multiple characters on your team, only 1 of them gets saved. And so even on this build, right, almost 60,000 health with Wellspring, my Valerian has still gotten one-shot, right? So like they can, one-shot your Messiah, Senyu, and Valerian all at once, and only your like turn dot or whatever survives. So it's not quite as strong as you would expect. So where her strengths are when you have multiple really tanky units, right? So if you went to like Kethos low on 1-2 and then a turn meter push on 3, then you can go like Valerian Messiah on 4-5, right? And this death prevention will always go to Messiah because he's the only squishy character on your team, and then tons of shields for the rest to sustain you. And then, of course, in turn 2, where your whole team is tanky, this will be very useful. But if you're trying to use her to tank a cleave with a team full of squishies, you're just going to lose, right? Like, they'll just all get one shot. Back in Season 0 and Season 1, when Valerian was seeing a lot of play, pretty much when Hoyan came out, because she hard counters Hoyan, right? She's really strong against single target, because once again, this death prevention is for just 1 character. So she completely counters Hoyan, right? Hoyan's revenge attack goes off, this bubble pops, Valerian instantly takes the turn, she puts it back up, Hoyan gets her turn, hits the skill 3, and she just doesn't kill anything. This is also very good against Lilium. What it's very bad against is Yelly, right? Because if the S3 kills something, they'll get the death prevention, and then the follow-ups will kill after the S3 goes down. It's also really weak to just overwhelming damage, right? If Messiah just one-shots your whole team all at once, 1 character will survive, but that's it. And then Heinrich, right? Really any buff block is good, right? So Heinrich and Nevet, I believe, are the only 2 with full team AoE buff block, but Heinrich also has the strip, so he'll get rid of anyone's immunity first and then block, which is very strong. So Heinrich is, I think, firmly back in the meta now with Awakened Valerian being as strong as she is. And then, of course, cooldown increase, so Kethos and Santic are also very strong. But yeah, block basically just completely shuts her down because her entire kit is just buffs, right? The skill 3 gives shields and rebalances your HP. It doesn't actually heal you. The skill 2 applies invincibility and heal over time, which are both buffs. So if you put buff block, all she has going for her is this slumber on the skill 1, which is not fantastic. So let me show a couple games where the Awakened Valerian kind of really didn't do anything. All right, so here we're using Turandot. One thing to keep in mind real quick is Awakened Valerian is really easy to counter if you pre-ban the Fia, right? If they have Valerian and Fia Amelia on the same team, I don't know how you beat that, at least if it's a turn 2 player, right? Because the easiest way to beat Valerian is with debuffs, right? And Fia would basically completely shut that off. All right, so they got the shield from Plume hitting, and then she stripped it right away. And then Heinrich puts the block, and then Messiah one-taps the entire team. Pretty standard Messiah cleave there. You can see in this game we do Yelly Heinrich. Yeah, Turandot is very strong against Awakened Valerian because you get to combo your entire team together. And I put the wound so that Yelly can just one-shot here. And the game is over at this point. They played it out for a little while. Now, here's one thing that you want to avoid is Valerian, as you saw with her skill 3 earlier, is not able to be turn meter pushed in either direction. So if you bring Doki and Valerian on the same team, your Doki will push your team until it gets to Valerian, and then all the stacks will go on her, and she'll just sit there like an anchor, right? So you won't get any turn meter from your Doki, which I completely forgot about. I figured with this game, I'd be able to push with my Doki and then cleanse the Mio debuffs. And then I remembered, oh yeah, Doki goes from last, from slowest to fastest, and yeah. And so I think this is a full damage Yelly, who was a bit slower, because actually maybe not. It might just be that my Kethos is not on Bloodbath. She got 4 follow-ups. And then the Ray Mary goes off, and yeah. So Valerian and Doki on the same team is not ideal. Alright, so you can also do stuff like this, where you basically have no damage, but it doesn't matter, because Valerian sustains your team so well. Right, so you would skill 2 with the Freya, and then your, assuming they banned the Kethos instead of Senyu, your Senyu would get the attack buff anyway, because you have Valerian on the team. Alright, but Freya here, alright, 20,000 shield, not bad, right, because it stacks up to twice. Alright, but then I kill the Navette there because I don't want to get CC'd, and I can just tank like infinite Ray Mary S3s at this point. Right, like I don't need to worry about Ray Mary at all, really. Alright, I still got 10,000 shield on everybody. Alright, 100% HP. Alright, and alright, so you can just slowly chip them down. So once again, if you're pre-banning Fia, she's really easy to counter because Doki does not pair well with her at all, and then all of the other cleansers are kind of super mediocre in comparison. Alright, so we hit the Freya S3 to try and overload the team with debuffs, right? The more debuffs you put, the less likely it is Linglo is going to cleanse anything important. We missed the freeze on Ray Mary, which is unfortunate. As you can see, alright, that's 6 debuffs. It's just a billion debuffs on everybody. Alright, they've all still got block. They've all still got wound. And with the defense buff from Freya, we can pretty comfortably tank one Ray Mary S3. And that's where the 555 Mio comes in real handy with the 50% freeze on the skill 1, assuming you have enough effect accuracy. But we're still focusing the Ray Mary because we would rather not eat the S3 if we don't have to. And yeah, Linglo solo cleanse against Heinrich Mio is not a winning position to be in. Now, I don't think this match would have went too much better for him if he banned the Mio instead of the Kethos. I think it definitely wouldn't have gone better if he banned the Heinrich instead of the Kethos. I think Kethos Mio is probably stronger here than Heinrich Mio, but right, because Kethos would have reset the Valerian's S3, and so he would have had no shields from the second turn onward. Right, and then this game, very similar draft. The Kethos was pre-banned, so I took Ray Mary instead. Right, with the Fia pre-banned, it's pretty easy to just CC people. And if they're picking Valerian on 3, chances are they're not picking Freya anywhere else, so you can just comfortably lock the turn dot on 3. And then Ray Mary did not quite kill there. And somehow we missed the block on Loan, so she gets the shields, unfortunately. But, you know, Ray Mary is Ray Mary. So. And the Champion Gator cleansing off the taunt so that we can skill 1 the Tiamat and one-shot her. Very nice. Yeah, so some of the pitfalls with Valerian is it's -1 cleanse, right? Because most of the healers right now are also cleansers, right? It's basically, what is it, just Fushu that's like meta that doesn't cleanse. Everyone else is cleanse and heal. So if they pick a healer that isn't Fushu, then a lot of the time they just won't have 1 cleanse. And so on their 4-5, they either have to pick 2 cleansers, which if they do, you just ban their 1 DPS, and it's typically a very easy win. Or they pick 1 cleanse, and then you just ban that, and you're good to go. Alright, so just like this. Alright, he only picks 1 cleanse. Ban the Kethos anyway, because we have turn dot, and it's a lot stronger to be able to just combo your whole team. And against turn dot, Aya doesn't push enough anyway, assuming the rest of your team is actually fast. Which my Ray Mary is not, but we have enough debuffs here that it doesn't really matter. Alright, so we got the block on everyone. Aya managed to cleanse it off of the Loan again. No block for Loan today, I guess. But then we get the skill 2. Make sure there's no healing from Aya. We can get rid of this Rahu ASAP. And once again, this is where the champion gator comes in. Because as soon as that Rahu goes down, we're healing back up to full, basically. I mean, not full, but you get the idea. Alright, and the skill 2 didn't do anything because we had buff block, and then it's just over. Alright, so here's an example of what I was talking about with the cooldown increase. This time I'm the Valerian player. Alright, he hits the S3 with Freya to knock off the Moon Bunny. And then my skill 3 gets reset here by the Santic. Alright, so even though she's immune to CC, now I have no skill 3. And even if I did, I'm buff blocked anyway, so no shields for anybody. And that one turn slumber was not enough. And yeah, this is just a slow CC game. But yeah, so if you're having trouble against these Valerian teams, basically it's just your standard opener, Kethos or Raymary, first pick, you know, whoever is available, you pick them, and then Plume, and then that gives you a very solid CC pivot if they like tank up and they don't have a ton of cleanse, or a very solid cleave pivot if they go heavy on the cleanse. Right? They pick 2 cleansers on 4-5. They're very easy to cleave because cleansers are usually double or even triple effect res, so they're super squishy. Right? And then if they don't go with a lot of cleanse, you can just CC them. So with my playstyle, Awakened Valerian really doesn't change the meta much at all. Basically just the drafts I was already doing, except Heinrich just got a lot stronger. So one of the characters I put a lot of strong gear on, I can actually use him again, which is nice. So anyway, I hope this video helps out. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and I'll see you next time.